Oh, such a clutch off-season pickup, Dave.
I was worried we'd bring back the same team.
I meant those blackout motorized shades.
Blinds.com made it crazy affordable to replace our old blinds.
Hard to install?
No, it's easy. I installed these and then got some for my mom. She talked to a design consultant for free and scheduled a professional measure and install.
Hall of Fame son.
They're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings in the world.
Blinds.com is the GOAT.
Visit Blinds.com now for up to 50% off with minimum purchase plus a free professional measure. Rules and restrictions apply.
APROCKY, Doechii, Robbery. Let's talk about it. How y'all doing? Welcome to Let's Talk About It Music Reviews Season 12. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show. Guys, I'm finally back inside. I'm finally, able to chill and just kind of talk about music. Making some fucking quick-ass episode like the last night and, calling it a goddamn day. Because I did that shit in a goddamn car. Alright, I did that shit in a car. Didn't have much time, but we got it done. Now I can kind of just sit and relax and really talk about some fucking music. Why the hell not? So for Tuesday night, I thought we could just do APROCKY once again. We're talking about this whole entire album, Don't Be Dumb. Next week's going to be the whole album review week. Alright, we're kind of, still doing the singles all week and probably the weekend too. Unless there's like some other fucking music that drops that, takes my attention away. But everything should be on lock, to keep talking about, 3 of these albums that I've kind of picked out that I really want to talk about this week. And this is one of them. Now, so far, I've had a really good time with this new APROCKY album. I've had a pretty good time listening to it and made my night. Made my night so well when I went to, the next album that same night, I really wanted to fucking put a gun to my head because there's such a difference, when an artist puts together a body of work that you can really just kind of sit down and really digest, when you can actually, have a good time listening to. Before I even started listening to this album, I said, please, APROCKY, make this shit feel like a movie. Make this feel like a whole ass event in my damn ears, alright? Make it feel like that. And I will say, definitely did not disappoint my night. It was a pretty good ass fucking night listening to that album. Now, this is kind of the later half of the album. I just kind of picked this song because why the fuck not? Doechii's the new hot rapper these days, and she's also dropping an album in 2026. Hey, I might as well talk about this song right here because this is probably one of my least favorite tracks off this album. Now, when I hear a rapper or I hear an artist say they got a bunch of genres in an album, and then, I listen to the album and I'm like, okay, I see how you incorporated all these genres in this album. When you incorporate a fucking jazz song, when we're saying we're gonna, put jazz, I saw the teasers for this whole entire album, they were saying there was some jazz. When I hear there's some jazz for an album, I love some damn jazz. I love how jazz sounds. I love, listening to that type of music. So when you have that, when you say that's in your album, and I really dive in and start listening to it, I'm going to expect some level of fucking good-ass jazz. When I hear somebody say there's jazz in a rap album, I get concerned. And goddamn, let's just get into it, starting off with this instrumental. I don't know how in the hell of 2026 that I still have to keep saying this shit. Just because you put a fucking shitty ass jazzy piano loop that loops for the whole entire song, and the only thing that you're adding is some background vocals or is some some bullshit ass fucking sounds that I can easily grab off of a fucking AI fucking site and calling it a goddamn day. This is not no fucking jazz. Where's the fucking saxophone? Why is there no drums in this song? One thing about jazz music is that the way the drums are incorporated in that genre, the way that drums have different styles to them, when it's not just, basic ass fucking hi-hat cymbals, Would you have fucking cymbals in this damn song? Would you just using cymbals? That is so basic to me. That's so bare bones that I'm like, why is there not much into this jazz instrumental at all? And this is not a beat. This is an instrumental, so this is supposed to have some different ass levels, and there are some different levels on here. You know, the piano, there is a slight switch up at the very end. At the very end. It just blows my mind, you know, in the good old 2026 that I've listened to such a basic ass fucking music, and this is adding to the list. You know, say you're gonna do jazz music, and the way you do jazz music is just, you know, grab the most obvious jazz loop and just call it a goddamn day. I like Doechii's background vocals, but I don't like how Doechii sounds on this song. And then they do the whole, like, let's stop the instrumental and let's just start talking, which is it is a corporation in jazz music. You know, you used to have, you know, singers back in the day, you know, not even singers. You know, some of these people were just talking throughout the whole entire jazz instrumental. You know, it'd be like a 5-minute, 6-minute, you know, intermission, you know, of talking. And I'm not saying, you know, that it doesn't have a place to be in the big old 2026, but I'm not gonna lie. Back then it was ass. You know, when you listen to that shit back then, that shit is ass. Hey, guess what? In 2026, talking like this in the music is still fucking ass. This instrumental is pretty basic in my opinion. I don't really enjoy it. You know, I wish there was more to it. I wish it was an actual jazz instrumental. This is like me saying, yeah, I'm gonna make a rock song, and I'm just going to grab basic ass elements of it and make a long ass, boring ass instrumental with it and say, yeah, guys, this is me making a rock song. Nah, bro. That's not you making a fucking rock song. No, this is not making a fucking jazz song. This is making a shitty ass, boring attempt. Now, let's move on to the hook now. I don't really like APROCKY's rapping on here. You know, it's just kind of the same flows. Even the verses sound the same in my opinion. And that's just how I kind of feel about it. The hook is kind of whatever in my opinion. It's just kind of that basic ass rapper hook on a jazz.
AI is incredible. It can teach you how to fry an egg and even write a poem, pirate style. Yarr! But it knows nothing about your work. Slackbot is different. It doesn't just know the facts. It knows your schedule. It can turn a brainstorm into a brief. And it doesn't need to be taught. Because Slackbot isn't just another AI. It's AI that knows your work as well as you do. Visit slack.com/meet Slackbot to learn more.
So what do you want?
What do I want? I want to use my degree for good. And in general.
I kind of meant like a muffin or a latte.
I want a job with a generous work-from-grocery-store policy.
You are here a lot.
Debbie, please, I'm working.
I want a job that will change the world.
Ma'am, this is a drive-thru.
And some nuggets.
With LinkedIn's new AI-powered job search, you can find roles that match your unique skills, so you can dare to discover more. Visit linkedin.com/jobs to learn more.
As instrumental. Like, I don't understand, you know, let's make a jazz song, but let's keep every fucking same element of making these samey-ass rap songs. Let's just do the same thing, but add some talking. Oh my god, there's a robbery scene. Let me say a robbery scene. That's the only, like, thing that switches up. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then Doechii's rapping. I like the back and forth with Rocky and Doechii. I think that was a cool little thing. I like it when artists do that back and forth thing. It just adds so much to the song. But Doechii's rap verse was just kind of whatever. And then she does this whole talking thing. She always starts fucking talking in her music, and I'm just like, what am I even listening to? Like, this doesn't even sound like a song. You know, it sounds like a shitty ass Tubi movie. Like, that's what it turns into as I keep listening to this song. It's just like, what is even happening? I'm really disappointed in this song, and I think if you're gonna say there's jazz elements in this rap album, there's not jazz elements, you know? I could get by, because there is a track with Brent Faiyaz, And it's, Brent Faiyaz released this song that I actually really like. It's a really good-ass R&B song. And then A$AP Rocky kind of took that song, sampled it, added his own beat, added his own, hook, his own verse. Even, Brent Faiyaz got to fucking, have his verse intact and all that type of stuff. I can get by with that. If you want to say that's your R&B track, I can fully get behind that. That's pretty cool. There's so many different ass elements. There's so many different ass rap verses that set it apart. I like that. When you have a song that just, does the bare minimum of jazz, but wants to, wear this, this is a jazz song, but absolutely do nothing on it. What the fuck was the whole point saying this is like a jazz song? At least have a good verse. At least Doechii, rap or sing decent on here. I like with Doechii's background singing vocals, but where's any of that in the song? Why is it this shitty ass rapping? Makes no sense to me. This is definitely one of my least favorite tracks off this album. A$AP Rocky, Doechii, Robbery is just gonna get an easy. It's not that bad as other bad songs that I've listened to, but I'm gonna say, since I feel like there's really no effort in this one, I feel like this is such. I'm about to give this song a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10, guys. What y'all think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I don't know. Let me know. If you're on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow, turn on notifications, guys. We're dropping new content every single day, and thank y'all so much for listening to this podcast episode. I'll see y'all